Hello, my name is Abby and today I'm going to be talking about search engines. Now that may not sound like the most interesting topic in the world, but search engines play a huge role in our lives today. I would say pretty much everyone in the 21st century has used a search engine at some point in their life, and if they haven't, I'm wondering what they're doing. They either live in the middle of nowhere or they haven't realised it's the 21st century yet. Just think about it. How many times a day do you say, just Google it? Sometimes you don't even have to say it. People will just look stuff up when you ask them a question. Even if you haven't used a typical search engine today, you've probably used Facebook, YouTube, Netflix. While you may not think of these sites as search engines, they all have search features, each with their own algorithm. Access to search engines has also never been easier, making them even more predominant in our modern society. People can use them on desktops, laptops, tablets, and even their phones, which in the 21st century most people have on them all the time. Search engines have also made our world incredibly smaller. Everyone has access to information from all around the world. By this I mean, anyone, anywhere, anytime can look up anything they want on a search engine as long as they have access to the internet. A person living in Melbourne can look up what the weather is like in Beijing and they would know within seconds. This is an idea that would have been unthinkable 100 years ago. But how do search engines do this? How do they work? How do they find something specific within a matter of seconds from all the information they have access to, just from a simple search? There are over 130 trillion pages on the web today, and that number is still growing. Now, there are a lot of search engines around today, Bing and Yahoo and even some more obscure ones, but let's be honest, there's one search engine that pummels them all: Google. I even used Google to search for the majority of the information in this video. I even used it to search for how many Google searches there are a day, which is 3.5 billion, if you were wondering. As we have already established from the phrase, just Google it, Google is what most people think of when they think about search engines, so I'll use it as an example. Google describes how their search feature works in 3 steps. Now, I'll just focus on the first 2 steps for this video. The first step is crawling and indexing. Google crawls through the internet by following links from page to page, and then indexes them by sorting them by their content and other factors. So the stuff relating to physics would go in the physics folder instead of the baking folder. The next step is the algorithm. Now, the Google algorithm is so big that even the engineers at Google don't even know what it looks like, but they still know how it works. It starts by looking for clues in what you have searched to better understand what you mean. Once it has found these clues, it pulls the relevant documents from the index. So if you search for pencils, it will pull the files from the pencil index and not the others. The results are then ranked using over 200 factors. These include site and page quality, user context, freshness, and safe search. Now, I've spent a lot of time talking about search engines in relation to the internet, but the concept of the search engine isn't internet dependent, and it actually predates it. A library can be seen as the physical version of a search engine, since its purpose is to store information for people to find. Google's mission statement, to organise the world's information, actually relates to a project from the early 20th century. This was called the Mundane, and I know that I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. It was a place in Belgium that was planned to house all the world's knowledge. It was created by Paul Otlet, who said about it in 1914 that it was not just a storehouse of information. It had staff to answer queries, but they did this by showing them quotations, photos, and film footage, sort of like what Google does. The people that worked there would analyse books and other materials and select the most important conclusions that they would put onto index cards for various contexts. At its height, there were up to 12 million index cards. While it is not around anymore, it was highly important in establishing the idea of the search engine, an idea that is still used today, albeit in a very different way. There you are, a brief explanation of search engines, their history, and why they are so important today. I hope you found this at least somewhat interesting and I did not bore you too much. Happy Googling, everyone!